Part 2. Dustin the Diamond Poirier, Dan Hangman Hooker. I'm doing another video where I get into the actual breakdown of styles, the techniques, what they do well, areas in which they struggle. You heard it here first. This is your boy JG. Exaggeration and experience. Let's go. Like I said, y'all, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy JG. I did a video a couple days ago and I just talked briefly, about 4 or 5 minutes, about some of the implications and the excitement around the bout that's coming up now, June 27th, Las Vegas, UFC 4, the main event, Dustin Diamond Poirier, Dan Hangman Hooker. And in that video, I just kind of ate around the edges of it, didn't really get into the meat. And in this video, I'm gonna take a little more time, break down the skills of each fighter, things they do well, some of the surprise things that you might not know about them, and the implications of the bout moving forward for the winner and the loser. So first of all, I want to start off with my man, the Diamond, Dustin Poirier. Like I said before, he's an exciting fighter. Excuse me. Why can't I say? I just woke up. So my bad. My eyes look they look a little crazy anyway. Very exciting fighter. Taking a look at his record, you know, he has lost to Khabib. That's the last time we saw him. Via submission, UFC 242. Beat Max Holloway, beat Eddie Alvarez, beat Justin Gaethje, beat Anthony Pettis. So the resume is definitely nice. Then he has a no contest illegal knees against Eddie Alvarez. We remember that fight they did. I think that was a rematch bout. I don't think they got that one back. But anyway, I digress. So the resume is nice. I mentioned before the experience is there. But what are the things that he does well? Like I said, nice with the hands. Definitely very nice with the hands. He uses a jab. You don't see a lot of guys who have a nice, clean, snappy jab in the UFC, really in any weight division. He's one of them. Very balanced striking. From balance, I mean he never puts himself too far out of position. Even when he's being aggressive and committing his weight forward, he always has a nice, he has good range. His hips are always in an appropriate position to not get taken down or not get scooped up too easily. Shout out Khabib Nurmagomedov, but that's just a different monster. And he even mentioned in that bout that he fought not to get taken down and got taken down. Instead of going out there and trying to put damage on him and fight his style and then, you know, let's see what happens, he fought to not lose via ground and pound, via mauling, via submission, which he inevitably did. One of the sneaky things about Dustin Poirier is his submission game. Darce chokes, guillotines, rear nakeds, straight arm bars. I mean, the list goes on. And I think that you see him as a fighter and he does so well in the stand-up game, you're not thinking about that. But as the fight weighs on, you're in the second, third round of his championship bout, or a bout leading up to a championship bout. You get in the fourth and fifth round, you start to run out of steam a little bit, and surprise, surprise, you get your neck snatched up. Just running down the list here, you know, he got a body triangle for Anthony Pettis, Darce choke. He got Max Holloway with a Marion triangle armbar, which was nice, and then a Darce choke before that. So that just is, you know, that's letting you know you can get cute if you want to and get your neck snatched up. Definitely gonna be a questionable scenario situation for you to find yourself in. Now, like I mentioned before, how he gets himself in those positions is after he's already kind of beaten on you a little bit and you run out of steam and you go, you know what, I can rest in a grappling position. This will work out. And then the next thing you know, you're getting choked up or socked out or kneed up. One of those things might happen. But after I cover the Dan Hooker, after I go over that, shout out to New Zealand, I'm going to give my prediction for the bout, which goes down tomorrow night. But switching gears a little bit, like I mentioned, you know, Dan Hooker, he's tough. He's a tough fighter. There's a couple things that concern me about his style, so to speak. But if you look, I think he's winner 7 of his last 8 bouts, even though I didn't have him beating Paul Felder. In my opinion, it was a split decision. The James Vick, that fight, you know, shout out to him because he got a knockout, but Justin Gaethje already ruined his career. So I don't know if that counts. James Vick, I don't know what happened. He went from that guy to just getting folded like laundry. So shout out to him. We know about the loss to Edson Barbosa. Then, you know, we got Gilbert Burns before he moved up the ladder to 170. And then you have Jim Miller, Ross Pearson, who's a notable name. Got some losses in there. Yadir Rodriguez. I can't say R's. Rodriguez? Yadir Rodriguez? Rodriguez. Anyway. And if you go down a ladder, even before the UFC, so he has some losses. I mean, you're looking at a record of 20-8 now. But I digress. Let's get into it. Long, rangy fighter. Not afraid. You know, he sets up well with the front kick. He has a good left hook. He's just, in my mind, he's just an unusual fighter. The one thing that I think that stands out to me is he also is able to get a lot of submissions, but how he does it's a little bit different. So what he'll do is he'll like blast you in your melon upstairs, right? Rock your jaw all up. And then you go for that lazy ass takedown. You bend over all at the waist, you hunched all over, and he just raps your shit up. It's a little different than Dustin Poirier's approach, where it's more of an attrition breakdown. Then he gets a submission where Dan Hooker will get you in trouble. He'll force you to do a lazy takedown or do some shit you shouldn't be doing, and then get your neck wrapped up. The other thing he does really well is defend against a submission and can make you pay for it. So it's a situation, I forgot who he was fighting, but he smashed my man out. He was going for like a knee bar or something like that, and then Dan Hooker just elbowed him, like 40,000 times, and just it folded him up. But I think that demonstrates a couple things. Discipline savvy on the ground, having an understanding where he's at, what his opponent's trying to do, and then how to defend, and breaking all that down in a matter of seconds so you can capitalize on a potential situation or position that your opponent has put themselves in that's probably not the best case scenario. That fight being case in point. One thing that really concerns me about Dan Hooker, he loves measuring away from his face. So when he's establishing his range, his hands will be way out here in front. I think that works for a smaller fighter, a guy that's going to have trouble closing the distance. But you still look at Paul Felder, who had success with it, but Paul Felder's a different kind of dude. I think for Dustin Poirier, that's going to be something that he needs to be more mindful of, maybe have more of a disciplined approach, and see if you can set that up, establish that range, maybe elbows or something like that gets him off you, and then you can go back to measuring here. I don't know if walking in front of Dustin Poirier with your hands extended out in front of your face is the best idea, but we will wait and see. If I have to break it down for discipline, I think grappling, I'm going to give that to Dustin Poirier. I'm going to give striking, boxing / striking, so the hands to Dustin Poirier. I'll give submissions. That's a toss-up. I'll give that a coin flip. They're both nice with it, and they both transition really well from striking to grappling to submitting their opponents. So I give that a toss-up. I think sheer will and cardio, I'm also going to give that to Dustin Poirier, but not by a lot. Anytime a guy like Dan Hooker, he goes in there, he fights Edson Barbosa, and just is getting kicked like 7,000 times and just blasted, and he's cheesing and shit, talking about come on over, like that's a different kind of dude. So that's a nice thing to put in your back pocket, so when it gets into the later rounds, you're not going to punk out. You're not going to back down. Now, if you get stopped and knocked out, that's a different story. You don't have a choice in that. You just sleep. You get your blanket, a pillow, and it's night. You just get worked over. With all of that being said, I want to give my final prediction on this bout. Like I said in my previous video, that was just, played around the edges with a little bit, but I want to give my final prediction for this fight. And I'm going to go with Dustin Poirier, unanimous decision victory. Choice B is going to be Dustin Poirier, late stoppage victory. I think that his boxing is too crisp. He's too smart. I think he's going to take away something from the Khabib fight, not get himself in trouble, and fight his fight. I think he has the more quality experience. I think he's going to put it together. Sometimes when these guys lose later in their careers, you don't know how they're going to bounce back. I don't think Dustin Poirier is one of those type of fighters. I think he's going to come in and fight his fight and understand this is a more favorable matchup for me, in my opinion, versus a pure grappler wrestler like Khabib. And he's going to get back to business. So that's my final prediction on the bout. Dan Hangman Hooker. He does his thing. Dustin the Diamond Poirier. It's going to be an exciting fight. I can't wait to check it out. When you guys get an opportunity, check this video out. Check out the previous video. Like, subscribe, bell icon for notifications. I will be doing a post-fight video when that does go down. The location, I don't know where because I got to be at work, but I will be doing a video. If you peep this video, let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts, your feelings, your predictions as well. If you think I'm full of it, if you think I'm spot on the money, let me know. The feedback is always love. This is your boy JG, Exaggeration and Experience. We still doing our thing. We trying out some new things, some new looks. Next time I won't do this after a nap, but I'm still holding it down. Shout out to my man, Double M. We out.